shite. I just got back. Alrighty. So, Rebel Tadpole on a lap, MM Racing on a lap. MM Racing comes across the line, a 1:15.412. Cheese. Why are we talking about cheese in French? Okay. And here comes Lewis W. Clark now, coming through the final corner. The noise of Russian. Let's see what kind of time RJ can set right now as he's coming down. Why do I have so much American twang in my voice all of a sudden? This makes no sense. What is happening? Too close. That was too close. We didn't get it. And now coming through the final corner, RJ now going to come across the line. P6, 117.554 his time. Joshy across the line, 117.474 his time. And we still have Leisure, AJC, and Maximum Kudova to still set their laps. Oh, AJC has actually set a lap. Never mind. I'm tripping. Yes, he has. It's just he's so low on the leaderboard. I didn't know he set a lap. I let the intrusive. I think I let the intrusive thought win there. I shouldn't say I think. Yep. The greatest people of all time. Everyone's catching some smoke right now. Ain't no one letting it. I'm not letting anybody slide. Yeah, you know what? It's going to be the safety car Grand Prix because the safety car is going to win the freaking Grand Prix at this point. Oh, Cyclix has joined. And now Leisure on a lap. We're going to see what time he can set now. Coming through Sector 1, 2 DRS zones, of course, in that first sector. Although, of course, that also overlaps with the third sector. And those actually are the only... Skana. I don't think that's how that could work, considering they both drove in Canada. put Big Bro on the controller. Put Big Bro on the sticks. And here comes Leisure coming across the line. P2, 115.935 his time. Not strong. Racing going to improve up to a 114.683. He's hacking. Get him out of here. Get him gone. We don't care that it's your league, Racing. Get out of here. Get gone. With new ownership, you've been shafted. Shut up, bro. Already? You just joined. No, you know you do you. No, I just like judging people for being idiots. Am I a bad person for telling people the facts of life? Harshly telling people the facts of life. Bro, why do you... Squirrel might be more of an asshole than I am. Jesus. Thanks for the realization. My God. Yeah. And here comes Cyclix now. We'll see what time he can set. Can he get himself set up in that top 5 area here? As he actually looks to be on a pretty good Sector 1. We'll see what he can do for Sector 2. Really extending the track limits there. Able to stay in the track. You wear glasses. You're cringe. Oh, never mind. I am teetering. I'm teetering on this. How is that not track? What is Hungary track limits? No more. What is that? Baby, don't hurt me. No more. Yeah. And Cyclix comes across the line, 1:16.014. In what he is dubbing a lap worse than, never mind, I cannot say that on stream. What do you mean? I didn't even say it. I said I can't. Yeah, I am. Oh, and what just happened there? I just was... I mean, you could always just overdose. That's all my stream. Actually? So, AJ, that's great track limits, dog. Oh my god, it might be Clown AJ Day today. I'm real sorry, bro. And Fate immediately messes up his lap, and now he's driving like a Hungarian grandma. Quite fitting, considering we're in Hungary. And Fate 4 has left the session. And Cyclix and AJC are both out of the session. Tame Super Jazz now, yeah, not an improvement, let me tell you. And so, brother, your penalty points maxing at this point, dog. Except it's quality, so we can't give you any. get your F1 your super license revoked in. Because I'm watching the GOAT Lewis W. Clark right now. Although I think he much prefers sheep, though, let's be real. We forgot to put some WD-40 on that door, goddamn! And now Lewis on a lap. Let's see what time he can get right now. 1:17.197, his best time right now. And so he's gonna have another minute and 10. There's a minute and 10 seconds, brother. It's over. You know what? You do you, man. I can't stop you. I can't say. Racing also looking on improvement himself. He's at a 1:14.68 free right now. Is he going to be able to make an improvement on that time and get himself even further up ahead with that 1:14.68 free right now? That best time, Le Jeu also on a lap time right now. He's at a 1:15.9 free 5. He's P2. Tame Super Jazz P3 with that 1:16.16 free on the out lap. Just wait, isn't it like 11 o'clock for you right now, like 11:18? Huh? So Racing, I don't think going to be able to improve on that lap. Le Jeu invalidates his lap, so there's not going to be any improvements there for Le Jeu either. Tame Super Jazz at a 1:16.16 free could possibly gain a few temps here and get himself into P2 if he thinks he has a good lap on his way. Although he's doing a bit of curb jumping there, almost loses the back end of the car. He left immediately. You might as well, Tame. You're putting pressure on Tame, man. Let him drive. He's going to come across the line here. 1:16.018. Kid Flash improves 1:15.794. Maximum Curva 1:15.500 in P2 with that one. And Lewis W. Clark invalidated as he's going to be last to come across the line here and get us ready here for what will be a 35-lap race of terror, great horrors, and probably PTSD. As, of course, the wild card for this race is insane weather conditions. So, in other words, straight storm weather to dry to storm weather again. So, hope you're all ready for this one. This is going to be a mess. Beast? Like a beast of... Anyways, welcome back to the racetrack, and it is it's a little wet. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, it's just pissing. So. I'm going hards. Probably the best. BS. This weather is fucking shit. Yeah. Who's ready for some premium in VC commentary? That's great. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, 23, the tires are made of, like, vibranium. Yeah. 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 arc, like the hit engineer. Cyclics, that's a crazy. Oh, there's Def. No. Why would we? That's just a horrible idea. Five red lights. And we are racing here in Hungary. It is wet as hell, and we have started. Racing is P1 right now. He's got Maximum Kurva behind him. The Haas Kid Flash gonna get passed by Lejour. He's gonna try and send it down the inside there. He might get 2 for 1. Lejour now on the side of Maximum Kurva, and I don't think he's gonna get it right just then. Oh, bit of contact sliding between the two cars. They were both able to catch it though, but now Lejour gonna be under attack by Kid Flash trying to send it around the outside. And right now, Tame Super Jazz just behind all this. He's got a little view there of the top 5, and he's got his own fight right now. Cyclics trying to get around right now. He might get a chance here. Oh, there's gonna be contact there between the Haas and the Mercedes. Now Tame just trying to get through safe. Maximum Kurva going to be getting a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. And now he's going to try and send it down. He's trying to just keep defending. Oh! Side by side. And Racing just kind of disappearing with this one because everyone else is taking each other out as fates disconnect. Yeah. And now, yeah, I can invite you right now. Actually, I don't know if I have Fate friended on. I'm gonna dive you real quick. Famous last words. Cyclics trying to send it down the inside on the Haas, and it does actually work. To be fair, I think saying that you're going to dive him probably helps. But now the Haas going to try and send it down the inside himself. Side by side here. Coming now. Oh, a little bit of contact there between the two of them. Close racing there. Stays on the curb, but I think it's more than good enough right now. The Haas here. I don't think gonna be able to get by Cyclics there. Cyclics has that advantage there in pace. I think he's just that little bit faster and it's able just to catch the Haas off. However, if the Haas can find that move, he might be able to make something work here. Do I have Fate as a friend on this game? Let me... I don't know if... Well, I don't know if I have him as an EA friend. That's what I'm at. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, we're good. I do have him. Just tell me when you get back on, Fate, and I'll invite you. Okay. Well, that doesn't help. Racing makes an improvement there. Fastest lap. Now, of course, the thing to expect... Oh, he is back? He is here? Okay. And now... it's just about whether or not Kid Flash can make those improvements in those necessary areas there to try and catch up to Cyclics right now, who himself wants to keep pace with Kurva, but I don't think he's going to be able to close it just yet. Obviously, of course, the water absolutely accumulated on the track. It's a nice wet day here, but it's going to get a bit drier here as the race continues, and then it will get wet again. So Inter is definitely going to be the favorite tire, and probably the only tire ran throughout this whole race, if I'm being completely honest with you. Unless, of course, the dry stays for a long enough period of time to warrant a switch. Basically, the thing to mention is, since obviously how the weather slots work in this game, it's basically free weather slots. So if you split the race into first, that's roughly what it's going to be. However, that can change if, of course, safety cars and stuff happens. That does change the natural weather progression. In the lap, it will happen. And now Fate F4 has joined. AJC in a battle there with RJ. We're going to go on board with the Haas driver right now. MM Racing a 1:36.27. You want rainbow tires? Rainbow tires, crazy weather. Fate, is your game okay? Is your internet okay? And now, Lewis W. Clark actually catching up to the back of AJC, and so he may have a chance here to make a move up position as well, as he's getting chased down. And so this is the battle for P7 right now. AJC, though, kind of falling away from RJ, and actually I think Josh is starting to pick up the pace too a little bit and catch on to the back of this for the fight for P8 right now. AJC currently leading this charge. However, if they can stay with RJ, it may still be a battle here for P7. And Fate F4, he's still a little bit away, but he can, if he pick up the pace a little bit. Obviously, he's had some internet issues too, which is almost a Fate usual at this point. In fact, internet issues have been trademarked because of Fate F4, and right now he is coming back. No, that's just factual. There's a difference. And now you're into that, dog. And now Cyclist trying to pick up the pace here on the Mercedes in front. It is about 9/10 there. It's still around the second, staying stagnant as we now come through the chicane very hard. Don't overdo it on the curbs. Last thing you want to do is hit that sausage curve too hard and go flying off the track or flying into another dimension. Trust me, we are not shy of summoning other dimensions here in ALR. It does happen. You say that, and now watch. Like I'm predicting it. Lap 17. You're gonna have a massive screen freeze like the moment you press brake, and then what's gonna happen is it's gonna be like a 20-second screen freeze, and it's gonna completely set you up. Yeah, you're just gonna be hitting the. And now, RJ actually being gained on now by AJC, who seems to be finding a tiny bit of a groove right now. He's gained a couple more tenths. And now he's trying to chase down and get around that Williams there. The question is, will AJC be able to make a move at some point to get around? Hungary, of course, very skillful track. You're going to need to be creative here to make an overtake. Now, there's quite a few good overtaking places. However, some are better than others. And now, RJ doing just enough there, though, to stay ahead of AJC. AJC just not able to find that distance there to kind of close up. So we have a bit of a train here. Fade F4 actually falling away from that train now. Not able to keep the pace up there to really catch up or be much of a threat to those guys 10th to 7th. And however, Rebel Tadpole is actually making he's closing up the distance right now to the back of Lewis W. Clark. But of course, a big portion is because of this train. AJC going to go a bit wide there. And now, the question is, can Rebel Tadpole find a place to make the overtake? Because he's staying pretty damn close to Lewis W. Clark. And so given that, maybe the opportunity could show himself, but he has to make a safe overtake, which may be kind of difficult here. So now, let's see what Squirrel's going to do. Is he going to pull it to the side? Yes, he will, and he's going to drop it down the inside here. Lewis is going to try to outbrake him, though, but he's going to have to back out of that. So a great move by Squirrel. Oh, but Squirrel's going to make a little mistake there. Lewis going to be just a bit quicker on the exit, I think, but it's still going to be enough there for Squirrel to stay ahead and move into P9. There was a little fight there by Lewis W. Clark. He's going to want that position back, and he'll probably try to get that position back. But as it stands right now, it's going to be Squirrel that takes the position at the current moment. Now the question is, does he have the pace here to pick up on the other two cars in front of AJC and RJ, who also have been having their own little squabble, but due to the fact that the rain has just made it hard to really make any overtakes, even if AJ has been a bit faster in certain sections, the opportunity hasn't really come. As MM Racing now going to drop a 129.405 there. And Fate audibly mad about that. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my god! Anyways, so now it's going to be Rebel Tadpole, Lewis W. Clark going side by side again. Squirrel still fast enough to stay ahead right now. This race really continuing, and as we go on, and now you can really see that was a terrible commentary moment. This race continuing as we go on. Let's go. Great commentary. 10 out of 10, baby. Anyways. Now, of course, another thing to consider, too, we're talking about F125. The inters in this game are genuinely overpowered. They last forever. So, tires shouldn't be too much of an issue. So, that should help I mean, that's going to make the pit strategy, I feel, pretty easy for this race for the most part. As Racing going to drop a 129 free, and again, just keep improving on its lap as the track starts to dry out a bit. The rain obviously closing up now, again, lightening up. That dry line really starting to be visible here on this track. In fact, really visible on this track. MM That might just be you then. MM Racing's getting faster. And now it's going to be AJ versus Squirrel. There's going to be another move here. Squirrel trying to move up another position here. He's going to get a fade on the back of this battle. And now it's Rebel Tadpole trying to defend his position from AJC, who's chasing him hard right now. I'm sorry, not AJC. Lewis is actually the one chasing him down right now. And so they both made their moves up. Positions have basically swapped around. AJC to the back of this battle of the three of them. And now actually another thing to consider too is Fade F4 is on the back end of this now. The hard battling has closed this up. And now Fade F4 going to go a little bit wide there, as I think he gets caught out there by AJC braking. Rebel Tadpole leading that pack. Fade F4 behind. Now it's going to be the Ferrari. And now that Ferrari getting attacked there by the Haas there. The Haas tried to have a little look there. Didn't make the move happen. Lap 11 of 35 right now. We're already getting on to about the halfway point. The rain is done. And so now tires are going to change, I think, real soon. Because there's really going to be no point to stay out in these. Otherwise, these tires are going to get very, very hot. And now we're going to try and see... Oh, Fade F4 going real wide there. Completely off the track. Actually, a little bit higher up right now, we have Le Jour vs Maximum Curva for these next positions right now. It's 4/10 behind there for Curva. But however, Le Jour... Fade F4 gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and that's not going to help his race by any means, and now that's going to be a struggle there that he's going to have to deal with. As Le Jour being still chased by the Mercedes there. And it's about 6/10 between them. As now it's going to be one of the Mercedes there I saw make a pit stop. Same with MM Racing. So both Mercedes in for their pit stops. Change onto the medium tire, I think that is. But now it's Lejour who's got that lead right now. He's going to have to make his tire change soon, I think, for the most part, as this track is completely dry. So this is going to need to be something done here, as I think he's going to lose some valuable time here the longer he stays out on these inters. So I think it's going to be go in now and get that tire change done as quick as you can. You put yourself in the lead with this, but the issue is you've stayed out, I think, a little too long. And that's actually going to mess you up more than it's going to help you here in the long run for this one. But then again, Lejour, though, has been known for some of these crazy strategies, and sometimes they work. So we'll have to see if this is going to be another case here. However, I think MM Racing just has considerably better pace, and I do think that's going to make the big difference here in this race. Bars. As Cyclix gets a 3-second time penalty there for testing those track limits a little too much. Into the pits goes Lejour. He's got an 8-second gap to MM Racing, so MM Racing going to retain his lead and actually probably gain about another second or two off of that too. And so that's going to work mad wonders for MM Racing, as now he moves back up into those positions. As for Curva, he might be able to gain the position from Lejour now in this one. Yes, he will. He is going to take the position away from Lejour. And so for Lejour, that strategy not working how he would have wanted it, I think. And that benefits heavily there for the Mercedes teammate to MM Racing, as now both Mercedes are running 1-2 in this race so far. As now we're going to have a dry track for a little bit, but expect the rain to come back real soon in this one. And it'll come back hard for sure. As Lewis W. Clark going to drop the fastest lap so far, but Fade F4 going to steal it away, a 1:25.427. It's going to be the fastest lap right now on the medium tire. Obviously the medium going to be the right tire to choose. Although I have noticed Lejour has chosen to go onto the hard tire, interestingly enough. And we'll see how that's going to play out for him. As now MM Racing going to drop the fastest lap at a 1:21.369. The restraint I had to practice there, as Maximum Curva goes across 1:28.82, but the restraint I had to practice there to not... Can you... Now Cyclix a 1:28.46, but what I was going to say, the restraint I had to practice there to not bust out in a Lil Jon song real soon with that 369. But anyways, so now... Tame Super Jazz comes across 1:25.06 as these lap times are going to dive down right now. As the sun's starting to rise a little bit on the track, you can actually see brightening up. That's going to help track temps a little bit, and that's going to help tires. But the rain's going to come back pretty damn quickly, so I guarantee you by about lap 25-ish is my assumption, when we'll start to see those spits, and then by about lap 30, I guarantee you it's going to be basically heavy rain at that point. It'll come down. And Joshy coming across 1:20.331. As the race has dried up a little bit, Lejour now trying to get his position back. Now he's driving on the technically slower tires, but the longer lasting ones. MM Racing coming across for a 1:18.342. And now it's the question of, can Lejour get around Curva and at least try and split those Mercedes ups, being the only Sauber here in this race. As Lejour, though, coming across now for the fastest lap at a 1:18.312. He's going to die. He's going to move to the outside. Is he going to be able to get the overtake done around the outside? The Mercedes trying to defend the inside there, getting the elbows out. However, I think the Kick Sauber are going to try and stay side by side right now. Can Lejour make the move? I don't think it's going to come. Yes, it will, because Curva has a big lock up there. That's going to let the Sauber through nice and easily there. And that's going to bring him up into P2 right now. As now Curva going to have to try and get that position back. Oh, and AJC has had an incident. Safety car is out. So Racing gonna lose that big gap he built up. This is gonna bring the race a lot closer now. This is actually now gonna, I think, put Racing in a threatening position right now. Tire-wise, this is helpful for the medium runners, but it is also an interesting situation as now Racing is actually going into the pits. Is he gonna dive and try on another set of tires? I mean, we know the rain's gonna come back soon eventually anyways, because the safety car again is gonna slow down these laps by about 30-40 seconds. And so now he's gonna come in, swap onto another pair of mediums, interestingly enough, so he's going to freshen up the tires. And now it's Lejeune, Maximum Kurva going into the pits, Cyclist going into the pits, Lejeune actually staying out, so he's going to stay on the hards there, so interesting strategy there by Lejeune, could work out for him. However, he is going to be at a big pace disadvantage there when we get back going. So Lewis W. Clark, Rebel Tadpole following into the pits. RJ staying out. Fade F4 following into the pits. Is Josh going to come in? Josh is going to stay out. And so a few drivers staying out, most going in though. Getting onto just another fresh compound to go run some more laps and be in a good spot. Yeah. As now we are behind the safety car. Racing still leading the queue there. Obviously the big advantage coming down to the fact that he had such a big lead. However, again, that lead has been completely demolished. And so because of that, now that could give Lejeune or Kid Flash, or maybe even the other Mercedes there of Kurva, a chance at the win. So now, just waiting on this race to be restarted. 2 more cars to catch up to the back of this queue, and we have another car that is completely far back. That's Fade F4 there in the pit. I know, I said you're completely far back, bruh. As now we go on to lap 19 behind the safety car. Sun completely out on the track. I guarantee you, though, that will become real shady in a few more laps after the safety car comes in. And then that's when the rain is going to start to come down here in this one. I'm gonna have to give the questions out on whether or not a certain man can drive. Safety car will be in this lap. Fade F4 not going to be able to catch up to the queue there. Yeah, he should be able to. Please be able to race. Oh, it's going to start to look like an Alfie Christmas. And now, race is back on lap 20. Here we go. Racing going to be able to defend the position right now. Oh, wow. Cyclist going for a massive dive bomb. Is it going to work? Oh, a little bit of contact there, but he gets into P3. The cyclist crazy dive to get 2 positions off that. And now cyclist gained those 2 positions. Now he's going to be on the back there of Lejour, and possibly here with a chance now to get into the podium finishing spots. Lejour actually not looking too strong in this track because he makes a big mistake there. Loses the rear end. Cyclist's going to be able to move down the inside there and up into P2 now. As in fact, it does already look like the sun's starting to come down a little bit. I've noticed that it's already starting to get a little bit shadier. And so the sun is, so we are going to have those clouds coming back in. So the rain will be expected to start real soon. Probably we'll see our first drops by about lap 24. My assumption now, if the safety car, of course, making kind of a lap slowdown here in the race. And Squirrel's excited because he can actually pass a car for once. Even better. Get this man a contract. And now Squirrel, I think he's going to be trying to make another move here now. He's on the back of Joshy. Could another move come Squirrel's way? As now we're going to go on board with the Aston Martin driver. Just not going to be able to find the overtaking zone here yet, but I think he is a bit faster than Joshy here. And so the opportunity here to possibly make this overtake is going to come real soon as he makes some contact there into the back of the Alpine. And now, oh, he's got a car on his inside. It's a bit dicey back here. He's able to keep it safe though. Racing drops another fastest lap of 1:17.683. The Alpine having some difficulties there. Yeah. And so Squirrel gonna make another overtake to get around Joshy, but at the expense that Lewis will get through and up into. Oh wait, no, Lewis was already through. Never mind. This was actually an overtake from position. But so now Rebel Tadpole up into P8 there, getting around the Alpine of Joshy. And now it's Tame Super Jazz behind, chasing down the Kick Sauber and the Haas of Lejeune and Kid Flash. Clouds now, you can see the sky getting darker there. The shadows on the cars getting less visible. These clouds are moving in. The rain's going to come any moment now. And this is going to put a spanner in the works, as now it's going to be side by side between the Haas and the Sauber. No move going to come of it yet. However, they're both driving each other real hard here. Sauber of Lejour, though, definitely having some struggles right now. Seeming a little loose in the car and just does not have the pace here. I think he's been struggling in general in Hungary. This is maybe not one of his tracks, considering the pace we have seen from him in a few other races. Kid Flash, though, going to get a free second time penalty. And so now and there it is. Right as I said, too. Right on cue. Lap 24. The first drop's coming in. So, lap 24. The rain has finally started dropping a little by little here. So, that's going to have an effect now on this race. And now the drivers are going to have to decide soon, because we know this rain is going to get a hell of a lot heavier now. So the drivers are going to have to make that decision soon, especially when that rain starts to heavy up, on when to change to those inters. And now it's Kurva versus Cyclics. This is for P2 right now. The Mercedes chasing down that McLaren. As we now come on to lap 25, MM Racing going to be the first one to turn that over to lap 25. And get us to the end of this Grand Prix. Pit stops are gonna be important now in this one. So time to time this right. Kid Flash into the pit, Kurva into the pit, Lejour into the pit. So they're planning ahead, and they made the right call there going in. So there it is, the rain immediately hitting, and this is not gonna benefit Tame or Cyclics' race, as now both of them are gonna be sliding a lot here, just trying to keep the cars still, and you can see just how difficult this is. So Fate into the pits, Cyclics into the pits now, making that change there onto those inters as the track got immediately wet. And so now we're on lap 26 of 35 here. The time's already significantly slower than they were just a few laps ago. And now MM Racing, you can see again benefiting from good tire choice. And a good strategy call there to dive in as early as possible, as he knew the rain was going to come in. And now, of course, the thing to consider too is Cyclix does still have the Sauber of Lejeune just behind him, and this battle may continue up. And right now, Mercedes seems to be running away with a 1-2 right now, so they're actually in a really good spot overall in this race to bring a solid points haul to this one. And now, Cyclix, Lejeune, they're going to get side by side. And now that's going to give an inside run there for the Haas. And now, Cyclix on the inside. The Sauber, a wide run. And that's going to benefit the Haas a lot too. The Haas now moving in to... But now Lejeune going to try and dive down the inside here, side by side. It's going to mess up Kid Flash's exit there. And now it's Lejeune going to have some contact there with Cyclix. But now again... So now... So, Cyclix v Lejeune continues right now. Kid Flash just behind that, too. It's those exits, though, giving a difficulty there for the Sauber driver. Oh, my! Again, sliding the wheels out, just really struggling there on the exits for these corners. Almost every exit right now for Lejeune is looking like he's drifting the car right now. Really struggling there, getting a little too early on the throttle there. Maybe trying too hard to chase Cyclix down and is not following into his flow. And because of that, I think that might be playing hard here on his race. Fade F4 has disconnected from the session. And now, the show is still on the back end of Cyclics, but not anywhere close enough to make an overtake, and definitely not close enough to be sniffing his exhaust fumes either, as we're now on to lap 30 of 35. But Cyclics makes a mistake there in the shift point. That is going to gain Lejeune a little bit of time back. However, I think Cyclics knows that he can definitely benefit here off of corner exits, as Lejeune really struggles right now trying to get that car safe out of the corners. The battle for P3 continues. That final podium spot, as Mercedes has basically for sure bagged a 1-2 finish at this point. So now, this race... Bro, I've low-key been, like, spaced out. Dude, like, nothing's happening in these last few laps. Yeah. 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 Rain really coming down, the spray very obvious, and the track wet, very soaked. However, again, not much going to happen here in this race because, well, it's basically a done and dusted one at this point. Not much can happen. Nothing much will happen. Basically now it's just survival of the fittest, everyone trying to make it to the finish line at this point in the Grand Prix. As now Racing on to lap 34. Both the Mercedes started. Cyclics about to start it. As now all the battles have basically ended. Lejeune unable to really pick up any pace there and catch Cyclics now, as Cyclics is proven to be much faster here in these conditions and on this track. And so Cyclics going to be able to here to stay P3 and get that podium in. As long as he just drives a clean race to the finish, there really shouldn't be any problem here with that P3. I don't think he's on AI because watching he's just drifting. No, he's just struggling. He's literally just drifting. That or he's literally given up on this race and is just doing it for the hell of it. Yeah. As for Racing now, starting up that final lap. As now he comes through what would be that second DRS zone. Coming now to come down that straight here, finish sector 1. He's only got about 2/3 of a lap left. And now, across the line. Into that second sector. And now, coming through its final few corners. There's only a little bit left. Racing now, he's got a 10-second gap to maximum curva. And now, rounding these final 2 bends, these long sweeping hairpins, and now Racing coming around the final corner. There really has not been any challenging him. And actually, is that a Grand Slam for Racing? Did Racing just Grand Slam this race? Did Racing just Grand Slam this race? Wait, because I'm trying to think. He led the race. I don't think he was overtaken. Yeah, he led the race, literally screwed off. He got pole. He won. In the pits, he didn't get jumped in the pits, I don't think. Oh, wait, he did. He went in early. I don't think he Grand Slammed. Because I think someone else is leading a lap. So, yeah, no. Still, close to a Grand Slam. I think he led 34 of the 35 laps. Rebel Tadpole. Fade F4 coming across the line, and last but not least, RJ, 8 seconds behind Fate, to come across the line and be the last finisher of this Grand Prix, but the last to finish on the lead lap. And so that brings the end of this Hungarian Grand Prix. And it's Racing who brings in a big points haul, and Mercedes, both drivers, bringing in a solid haul of points. With Cyclics getting a podium and possibly finishing his first race. I don't know if he finished one prior to this in ALR. So. And so, that is your race. Cyclics P3, MM Racing P1, and Maximum Curva P2 for Mercedes 1-2, a big points haul, with Kick Sauber not being on the podium in this one. So, I'm your host. Brings a solid points haul to try and close that points total up to Mint Castrol. And so, that was ALR. That was round 11. And so, we out. And I will see you for you fall in a few. Thank God.